Keyframing camera movement in Muvizu. To use keyframing in Muvizu, you'll need the paid version of Muvizu plus the keyframing expansion pack. Keyframing is defined as changing an object's property over time in your video. And keyframing is useful for changing the properties of objects as your video is playing. In this video, we will be concerned with using keyframing to move cameras for effects such as panning, following the action, or causing a camera to jump to another part of our scene. Let's get to our scene where we have two cameras that we will use to demonstrate two of the ways that we can use keyframing to move the cameras from a starting point to an end point in another part of our scene. Here's how to set up the cameras for the scene. The process can be repeated for each camera, with the only difference being what we select as the type of camera movement. Start by selecting camera 1, and then choose Prepare, and then Camera Movement. On the Prepare Camera Movement menu, we select the Keyframed option from the drop-down menu. Notice that when we click the timeline, the playhead jumps to that position. So, we'll be able to place the keyframes on the timeline where we want them by first clicking on the timeline to make the playhead move to there. It's not critical to drop a keyframe at an exact point because we can slide the keyframes along the timeline even after they've been placed. Look at your starting scene in that camera and be sure it's set up the way you want. Then switch to Direct Camera Movement on the Direct dialog. Be certain the playhead is where you want it on the timeline. You will select the plus sign to place the camera's starting position on the timeline where you want. Then move that camera to frame the scene that will be shown at the end of the camera movement. Be sure to compose the new image. If the camera will be panned to the new scene, then it may be important which way the camera rotates on its way to the new scene. So, as you move the camera to the new scene, be sure to rotate it in the desired direction. There are three types of keyframe actions from which to choose. When you place the end keyframe on the timeline, you will choose from three types of camera movement. First is stepped. The camera moves instantly to the new position when the end keyframe is reached. Next is linear. The camera pans to the new position. The speed of the camera pan depends on the amount of time between the keyframes. If there are 3 seconds between keyframes, then that's the duration of your pan. If there are 30 seconds between keyframes, then you're looking at a slow 30-second pan. The third type of movement is auto, which we won't be discussing in this video. So let's use our sample scene, cameras and timeline, to demonstrate what we just discussed. Alright, these are the two cameras, and when we start the time moving, you will see that as they reach this first keyframe, they will start the actions that are indicated. One will jump immediately to the new scene, and one will follow the slow pan. Here we go. Here, there it went. And then the other one is on its way back to the new scene. Alright, let's do that one more time. At this time, let's watch the views of the cameras. Same thing. Timeline hit, jumped on camera 1 and pan up on camera 2. That's the action that we get out of the keyframing.